Hey y'all, it's Wednesday. I'm finally posting on Wednesday, yay. Hopefully this is my last time recording this because my camera keeps shutting off in the middle. This week's topic is about staring. What do you think other people are thinking when they're staring at you? Are they trying to figure out whether you're a guy or a girl or what? And does this bother you? It does not bother me a lot anymore because most of the time I don't really care what people think what gender I am. I mean, I care if they're going to talk to me and then to other people and use specific pronouns because I definitely prefer male pronouns or possibly gender neutral ones, but that's not the point. But if I'm just passing someone on the street that I'm never going to see again or in a grocery store, I really don't care what they think. They can think whatever they want to think. I'm curious as to what they think. I'm curious as to whether I pass or not. But, I don't even notice when people stare very often anymore. I apparently am rather rude because I stare at other people. Just walking around or sitting on a bus or whatever, I stare at other people. They're interesting. What they do is interesting, little like mannerisms and stuff. Sometimes they have a really interesting top, shirt, whatever, with words on it that I'm reading, which gets me in really big trouble with girls occasionally. And sometimes they just, like, people's ears are really cool. Have you ever noticed how different everybody's ear is? Like, I don't know, I'm just kind of showing you mine. For no real reason, but people have so many different kinds of ears. It's really awesome. But that's absolutely not the point of this video. However, I used to care. I used to be really paranoid. I thought everybody thought I was a butch lesbian, which really bothered me, or that they thought I was a freak, which also obviously really bothered me. And so I would snap at my friends, which is a really bad thing to do with that. These days, if people are staring at me, it's like, maybe they're thinking, like, what gender is that person? And maybe they're thinking, same thing I think about other people or similar things or whatever, like, oh, that person has an interesting nose or something, I don't know. But anyway, it doesn't really bother me anymore. When I notice someone staring at me, I often just stare right back at them, and typically they look away either pretty quickly or we just kind of stare at each other for a little while and then somebody looks away and that's that. And the staring back at them I find is the best method if you want them to stop staring, especially if you, like, glance back occasionally. They're less likely to keep staring at you. I noticed that riding the subway every single day, multiple times a day, when I was in Germany and Austria. If people stare at you, you stare back, they're gonna stop staring. I think a lot of it is a matter of confidence in terms of what you do in reaction to staring. Like, it takes guts I really did not used to have to stare back at people. I would always just look down, look away from people as soon as their glance met mine, and that was that. And I would just let people stare and feel horribly uncomfortable and self-conscious. And I felt self-conscious anyway, and it was a little bit of a mess. So just try and... I don't really know how to say it. Try and be self-confident. Try and not be so self-conscious. I know that's way easier said than done, but if you can be less self-conscious, people are actually less likely to stare at you. They just think, oh yeah, that person, it's just another person walking down the street. If you're, like, really fidgety and nervous looking, then people are going to stare at you and wonder, what's up with that person? Why are they so nervous and fidgety? And if you're nervous about them questioning what gender you are, then if you're ambiguously gendered looking, then once the person notices you, they might start wondering about that too. But yeah, be confident in yourselves, be happy with yourself. Even if you are absolutely not the way you want to look right now, find things you do like about yourself and focus on that. This girl Diana has a wonderful video about it, and she explained things much better than I did, and I am going to post a link to her video, because it deals a lot with what I'm trying to talk about, and that doesn't have necessarily a lot to do with this video, but I'm really sorry if I keep going off topic. I don't have a lot of notes. But yeah, that's actually about it. I kind of wanted to say that whispering about people is much worse than staring, I think. Because if you notice people whispering about you, then, like, you know it's something they don't want you to hear. And that's pretty terrifying most of the time. I mean, sometimes it's nothing. Who knows, maybe they're just saying, oh, that person did such a great job in their skit or whatever, I don't know. But, no, it's just another form of attention, I guess. But yeah, staring, whispering, it's attention that's not necessarily wanted. And I think that's why it makes people so uncomfortable, because you feel like if you're being stared at, I thought about this a lot during math class today instead of paying attention. If you're being stared at, then you feel like someone is analyzing you, judging you before knowing a thing about you, other than what you look like and maybe a very few of your mannerisms, like how you stand or whatever. And that's scary. Nobody likes being judged without having gotten to know somebody first. So yeah, I think that might be why people are fearful of staring, and I know I kind of these days have the attitude, who cares what people think, but I know that it matters. I just wish it didn't matter so much, but you'll get there. Either with self-confidence and being able to cope with people staring at you, or eventually people will mostly stop staring at you. Like, I tend to fly under the radar these days, I think, because I haven't noticed people staring at me very much. Yeah, so I don't know, I really like the idea of just staring back at people until they stop staring, because it freaks other people out, especially if you don't blink, but sometimes that's really uncomfortable and you want to blink, so anyway, just stare. I don't know if any of you ever watched the TV show Care Bears, but there's the Care Bear stare, and it freaks the bad guys out to the point that they either run away or get destroyed or whatever. It's been a really long time since I watched that show. But yeah, staring at people who you don't want to be staring at you often helps them not stare at you. So I've blathered on a really long time, so I'm going to shut the camera off now. Have a great week, everybody, and I will see you next Wednesday, rather than on Thursday, because my day is not Thursday. So yay for Wednesday. Yes. Alright, bye.